All right, let's finish up with the main knobs on our instrument. LFO. We've used it several times throughout our series so far, but today we're going to talk about it directly, because now we understand how electricity is functioning in our instrument. The LFO is creating a continuous wave of increasing and decreasing voltage. It goes up to +5 and then drops down to -5 over and over and over again. Unlike our envelope effects, which trigger once and then go away, the LFO is continuously moving up and down. Right now, even when we're not playing the instrument, the LFO is going, just like the other oscillators are going. We just haven't made them audible yet. So let's start with pulse width, as we always do. Set your shape to square, mod source to LFO, mod destination to width. I've got my oscillator mod turned up all the way already. Mixes down to the left. Cutoff is all the way up, so we haven't cut out our sound. Our LFO is pretty slow. I'm just going to turn it up. Here we go. So we turn it down a little bit here. Moving through its phases. As we do that, it goes faster and faster to the point where we can't differentiate the change, and the other actions themselves turn into the vibrations that we hear. So you might be hearing a rising pitch as I do this. Lower one appears. You're starting to hear the LFO itself because it's going so fast it's moving into the audible range. And right here, things are in tune. You might have thought, oh, I can only make one sound at a time. No, if you tune these correctly, you can start to get different sounds. Now, that's using the triangle shape, where the LFO is going like that. I can also set my LFO to square. And what this does is it goes 5, 5, +5, -5, on, off. That's a different sound. Let's go slower and see what's happening. So moving from one side of this to the other, just back and forth. Let's listen to how that works with pitch. We're going to set our destination now to frequency. Let's switch to a triangle wave, or a sawtooth wave. So we're just going up and down. Now if I set oscillator mod to nothing, that's our bass pitch right now. This is now determining how far apart those two pitches are. So if you set that to an octave, and then you can use your LFO, so now you can make a disco bass line of just octaves. All right, and if I go back to triangle on the pitch, I get wee wee wee. Oscillator mod again determines how far apart the two pitches are. And of course, we want to go fast. All right. And then finally, let's have our LFO work on our filter. Turn the osmod down, or we're going to get all those crazy effects. Okay, now we're getting nothing. Let's set that to a decent place. You can see the rate here, up, down, up, down. On a square, if I set it to triangle, you see how it kind of fades in and out. That's on and off. That's square. So let's go to a fade in and out. Set our cutoff to about the middle. So our sound is pretty dull. Let's use a different octave. Increase our So now our LFO is changing our cutoff rate by this much at that rate. Again, the on and off of this sound, we can make it go so fast that it itself becomes a tone. There we go. Combine that with pitch. So you can get lots of fun effects. It's really easy for me to just go and go. So excuse my indulgence. So there's your LFO. And that's the different places that you can send the LFO using just the control panel. Once we start using our patch bay, we can actually send that changing frequency from the LFO anywhere. Okay. The last thing that I wanted to talk about today, there's two more things actually. One is a common feature that you might be aware of on other synthesizers, something called a legato mode. Using this keyboard built into the instrument, you don't really get a legato mode, unless I misinterpreted how this works. Right now I'm just going to set up a basic envelope. Short attack, short decay, lower sustain, so you hear the drop in level. So you hear it go. Now, in other keyboards, if I hold this down and I play another note, the envelope will not re-trigger. But on the Crave, it does. This causes it to re-trigger. Now, I'm pretty sure in my MIDI setup video, we discovered that there is legato mode using MIDI. So we'll check that out another time. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about was the glide knob. This is another one of those time setters, just like attack and decay are. What this one determines is how long it takes the electricity used to make one note, say, let's go here, get to the next note. Right now it's at 0, so it's instant. Set it up all the way. It takes a while to get there. Let go. It drops down to the last one. Set this a little bit shorter. It gets there pretty quick. And then, of course, we can go from very low to very high. So as long as I keep that down, it actually remembers the note that I was playing. So if I go to octave 2 here and I play a C, and I jump up to octave 7, 6, and we play an F sharp, and I let go, this remembers it was set all the way down to octave 2. Then, of course, you don't have to hold it down. So right now, here's an octave 1 E flat. And now here's an octave 8 E flat. And it actually took all the time to go up there, even though I wasn't holding it. Two notes that are really close together. It takes a little time, but it's subtle. All right. So there you have it. Those are all of the knobs that are related to the internal wiring. Aside from this one, which is to do with the sequencer. And then VC Mix has to do with our patch bay, which we'll get to next time. All right. Hope this is helpful. By now, you should be able to do an awful lot of experimenting. And remember, start combining these things. You combine an envelope with modulating both pulse width or pitch with the filter cutoff, changing your resonance, changing the shape of this. You can do an awful lot of fun stuff without having to do any patching. All right, I'll see you in the next one.